Thank you, ladies. Okay, we're down to approval agenda. Need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Okay, on the agenda, it's not our typical agenda, it's quite long. So moving through it, I see nothing on the first page. On the second page, under number 6, under personnel, under employment, number 6, we have a name, and that is Jesse Smith. And then we have abolish one general maintenance position and reduction in force of a cook at Wirt County Primary Center, aide at Wirt County Middle School, 1 aide at Primary Center Middle School, D, 1 aide at transfer from the high school to middle school, E, 1 aide transfer for Primary Center, F, 1 teacher transferred within the high school, G, 1 teacher transferred within the Primary Center, H, extracurricular contract of Wirt County Primary Center Special Education Coordinator. That's a reduction of force. I, extracurricular contract, Wirt County High School Special Education Coordinator. That's a reduction of force. And J, extracurricular contract, Wirt County Middle School School Improvement Coordinator, and that's a reduction of force. Also, with the board's permission, I would like to move number 4. Ratification of unpaid suspension, and we're going to move that up to under personnel matters on page 2. We're going to put that, it'll be the first thing we do. It'll become number 1. That's suspension, and you'll see the reason for that as we go through the agenda. Any questions about the agenda?
Is all these reductions in forces now or at the end of the year?
We will get to that when we get to that.
Okay.
How's that?
That's good.
Yeah. When we get down into those motions, that'll become clear. We'll cross that bridge.
Okay.
Any other questions about the agenda as presented? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Motion carries. Down to recognitions. Are we still waiting for some parents? We don't mind.
I think we're
No, we're good? Okay. So this evening we have the Wirt County Middle School Girls High School. No, it can't be middle school, high school, can it? Huh? Okay, we have the Wirt County Middle School Girls Basketball Team. That's my first and only mistake I'll make all night, okay? Yeah. With that being said, Mr. McCown.
So we're once again very pleased to have the Wirt County Middle School girls basketball team with us again. This seems to be becoming a habit that you're here for the past several years. We're thrilled to have you back with us again. So if the coaches want to take a little bit of time and talk about your season and accomplishments, and then introduce who you have with you on the team tonight, and then at the end, we will get some pictures and hopefully get it in the paper next week. So come talk about your season, introduce your kids.
Yeah, girls, come right up here.
We got time for each.
You're the ones that are supposed to be here to be honored. Step right in here. Don't be shy.
It was a very successful season. These girls worked hard. That's one thing about it. As soon as they started in the gym, they really put forth a very hard effort throughout the whole season. And that's one thing with athletics, it's basketball. So what? It's basketball. But I hope that they learn that when you work hard at something, good things come of it. So hopefully that'll teach them to be good young ladies, good students in the classroom, and carry forward right on throughout the rest of their middle school and high school career. But we did end the season at 18-1. Our one loss was to Williamstown, and we finished the season with a win to New Martinsville, and that got us the LKC championship. So something to be very proud of, great accomplishment for the girls. And just of note, we've been known to beat some teams pretty bad in the past, but we started off the game, our championship game, it was 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. And I'm sure we thought, how in the world are we going to do this? And we ended up to the end of the game, and we were like, how in the world did we win this game? But they came back by the end of the first half. we were down by 1 point, right? And then the third quarter, fourth quarter, the girls just took it over and did everything they needed to do to win that game. So it was just an awesome group of girls to coach, and we had a great season. Looking forward, we're losing several 8th graders. They'll be moving up to the high school. So Coach Kirby will have some good girls to look forward to having next year as freshmen. We've got a good group of 7th graders coming up, and we've got some 6th graders to work with. And we're very excited to see what's coming up out of our 5th grade class to see if we can continue to make this happen. But you know, it's a product of a program that's been put forth with these girls. I mean, when did you all start? 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 1st grade? And Coach Dawson, April Dawson, really did a lot there to get them started, and we've just been able to continue forward. Jen's been a very big part of that over the years, and we're just very appreciative of the facilities that we have. You know, we have people coming into the middle school and just blown away by how clean it is. Our staff takes great care of that place, and it is the cleanest facility. I mean, you girls see the locker room, okay? You know what our locker room looks like. What does their locker room look like? It can be nasty sometimes, right? But we put our guests in good locker rooms. We have great concessions for our fans to come into and other parents to come in and use, and that's all because of, I mean, we've got a great county, great board to help support, make that happen, so we appreciate that. Do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I'll add a little bit about the B team this year, since I typically coach the B team. So LKC decided this year to remove the B team championship, the B team tournament. And even with that, we still only lost 3 games this season. I think it was a good decision for LKCs because it takes a little bit of that pressure off the young ones and really focuses on the experience and the growth. But they still had a fantastic season, only losing those 3 games.
So why don't you all come through on a line, your name and your grade, so they know what grade you're in.
Yeah.
Get right up on the microphone.
Hi, I'm Addison Williams, and I'm in 8th grade. I'm Caroline McAllister, I'm in 8th grade. I'm Melanie Exline, I'm in 8th grade. I'm Bristol Dine, I'm in 8th grade. Hi, I'm Ray Nay, and I'm in 8th grade. Hi, I'm Logan Murphy, and I'm in 8th grade. I'm Ellie Casanelli, and I'm in 7th grade. I'm Jasmine White, and I'm in 6th grade. I'm Lennon Murphy, and I'm in 6th grade.
Very good. So, did you play Williamstown twice? No. Oh, you only played them once? Ah.
This was their first year not in the LKC, so they decided to play in the Wirt County League, so we only had to play them once.
But I will say our B team beat them. So.
Okay. Good deal. Girls, I love your sweatshirts. They're great.
Thank you.
Board members, any questions, comments?
Yeah, refresh my memory, who did you beat for the championship game? I don't remember.
Marksville.
Okay. I remember when you did it, but I just,
The weather was awful. Y'all
Yeah.
remember?
Oh, yeah.
Hit us right at the time at the end of the season, and a lot of games got canceled. We didn't get maybe 3 games in, so still, the season ended well.
Very good. Well, we're going to have you come up front, and we'll get a picture taken. Y'all sort yourself out, coach, sort you out. Okay, wait. We always ask parents to come up because you guys are a big piece of it, okay? It wouldn't happen to come over here. You're rolling shot. You're a huge piece of it.
there's a lot of miles put in right here. Especially got some middle school.
You better get up front.
Parents, thank you. No, it's
You do one more with Terry up front? You just lean on myself. Right there.
Okay, you are welcome to stay, but you will not hurt our feelings if you leave, okay? But you're welcome to stay.
No, the seventh graders wasn't come.
Okay, we're now down to monthly attendance narrative. Mr. McCown?
Yeah, Mr. Smith is with us. He has prepared the monthly attendance narrative and the monthly maintenance update
Yeah.
for the board tonight.
Yeah, do them at the same time there. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McCown. Thank you, Mr. Metz. Okay. In regards to the attendance, since the beginning of the 25-26 school year, 117 student households have been sent 5-day unexcused absence letters. The year-to-date attendance rate by school and district is as follows as of 3/10. Primary center is at 93.8. Middle school is at 92.7. The high school is at 92.1. And district-wide, it's at 92.9. The average attendance by school and district as of March 10th was primary center at 90.8. Middle school at 89.3, high school at 90.2, and district-wide we're at 90.1. In regards to enrollment by school and district, primary centers at 315, middle school is at 246, high school is at 273, for a total enrollment district-wide is at 834. The total enrollment increased by 1 student in comparison to the February attendance narrative. In comparison to that narrative, the primary center enrollment increased by 2 students, middle school decreased by 1 student, and high school enrollment remained the same. See what's going on here. Okay. Reason for enrollment change. Primary center, 2 students enrolled in primary center from a different county's in-state public school system. And at the middle school, 1 student withdrew to West Virginia Virtual Academy. By grade, the enrollment as of March 10th was as follows. Pre-K was at 51 students, kindergarten at 61, first grade at 51, second grade at 49, third grade had 49, fourth grade was at 54. At the middle school, fifth grade had 64 students, sixth grade had 59, seventh grade was at 58, eighth grade was at 65. At the high school, ninth grade was at 75, 10th grade had 63 students, 11th was also at 63 students, and seniors, we were at 72. Anybody have any questions or anything they want me to go back and?
Questions for Mr. Smith?
Okay, all right, okay. I'll go on to the other one, as you said, Mr. Metz. Give me just one moment here. Okay. In regards to maintenance, Geocom was chosen as a winning bidder for the Wirt County Schools Mapping/School Safety Project. These requirements were established under House Bill 3166 during the 2025 legislative sessions. The funding is provided by a grant at $4,500 per school facility, and as Mr. Metz kind of insinuated the last meeting that I was here with you, Geocom's bid come in at $13,242, just under that limit. The company is part of the Sourcewell National Cooperative. So does anybody have any questions why we chose them or anything in regards to that as far as that goes?
When are they looking to start that?
It's very soon, Mr. Metz. We're getting all the paperwork ready right now, doing the contract signing. It won't be long till they're going to come and do an on-site assessment and get that process started once we get all the paperwork completed back and forth between the two parties and such. I mean, I would say if we get everything done, I could see them showing up within the next 4 to 6 weeks to start some more.
And did they give you an idea about the length or the scope, how long it would take to complete?
They indicated on the phone and on Teams meetings, they thought with it being 3 facilities and 2 of them being adjoining, they don't think it'll take a very long period of time, Mr. Metz. Like, they said they could be through here in 2 or 3 days at the max.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they went on Google and got the outline of the building and such, so they kind of know what they're looking at before they even come in, you might say. So that's a good question. Okay. Anyone else have any other questions related to that? Okay. All right. On Monday, April 6th, active shooter training is scheduled for 9 a.m. It'll take place in the high school auditorium. The training is for all school staff members. The FBI will be conducting the training. The training will consist of a presentation, video, and question and answer session. The activities will take place on a professional learning day. Anyone have any questions on that? I just wanted to keep you updated on where we're all at with the active shooter and such. So.
Will that be for all staff from primary to high school?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct, Brent. Uh-huh.
And that's just staff only, correct?
I'm sorry? Yes, staff only. That's not kids. Correct. That's just staff only. Uh-huh. Now, the next step to follow up on that, Brent, will be probably establishing parameters to do the students would be the next step after
Right.
that. I thought that might be your next question.
Well, yeah, I assume that part.
Yeah.
How have we been working on, I know the high school has problems with active shooter upper floors, plus the middle school both. Have we come up with any solutions for that?
I've been discussing, I'm trying to come up with some solutions, collaborating with people, but hopefully I can get that finalized soon, Brent. I know we discussed that in a prior safety meeting,
Yeah.
for example, yes. Uh-huh. We want to make sure we handle it right, as
Well,
you
I'm
say.
glad the FBI is coming to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Would it be appropriate if board members wish to attend?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh,
It's a-
yes, by
If
all
board
means.
members wish to
So,
attend?
yeah, that is a professional learning day on April the 6th, and it's at 9 o'clock in the auditorium. If board members want to come attend, please feel free.
Oh, yes, by all means. They just wanted a rough number on how many people, staff-wise, but they said once they had a number, they were fine with, as long as I didn't get out of hand, whoever wanted to come for that matter, once they had parameters established, so.
Will students that day be dismissed and, not have that day, or what? how will that
No,
work?
it's on a professional learning day in the calendar, so just staff's here. There'll be no kids in attendance that day. It's just a staff work day, Brent. Good question. At the time of this update, all the electrical wiring, construction of the new walls, new office construction, painting and preparation, and approximately 50% of the new floor installation is complete at the new BOE building. Since then, I want to update. I didn't want to, guarantee that until I saw that, but all the floor installation and the molding has been put down. It's complete right now. All they have to do is come back and touch a couple of molding areas up tomorrow. So all the flooring's done, the painting excluding, right now they're painting the door facing, and they're sanding the doors to paint them, and then that part will be done. Essentially, once we get that done, the next step is going to be the internet-related issues and things like that with the fiber optic is going to probably be the next issue after that. Before we get into discussion about that, I just wanted to thank all the people that worked on this project, including the maintenance and custodial staff with the painting, the preparation, the sounding of the walls, and work and all things related to that, drywall and such. Gary Moore, Josh Moss, Kurt Starcher, Chris Long, Ryan Campbell, Ellen Butcher, Paula Sams, Edsel Smith, Cheryl Bennett, Amber Long, Laura Watson, and Mary Nicolay. And I also, before I start talking about technology, I want to thank Casey and William with all their help with the technology-related things and all they pitched in with that. That's been a very crucial part. But right now, In the very near future, the biggest issue, I'd say, by the end of the week will probably be the internet-related issues, and there's the transaction window where you first came in the door. We have the hole cut out, but we have to have the window put in. I'm trying to think, Mr. McCown, is there anything else present I'll
So
discuss?
I think we've got like the door company to put the buzzer
Yes.
system in yet to do.
Yeah.
And really, it's just going to be the internet provider company. How soon can they get fiber ran to that, connected to our stuff? And Casey has been working on that front. So making good progress.
And we have hopes, no guarantee, we'd like to have a board meeting, maybe the next one or in the near future, if a hot spot or something else like that, just so you could, be in there and have a meeting in the facility and such in the near future. Even if we're working on the fiber optic aspect, we may be able to do that, so. I took some pictures. I don't claim to be a photog, but I'll show you some of these pictures, okay? And some of them don't do them justice because, like, for example, those lights are not that yellow. It's just when I'm taking pictures, it gave that, and you'll see that. This is the main boardroom. So here's another angle. You see it's not as dark as that picture. That's the other part of the main boardroom where we'll be having board meetings in the future. That's the left-hand side there. There's the... This is the wall closest right here, like where you come in the door and you make a right. My understanding is Chris's office and my office will be on those walls right there where you first come in. And off to your right. This is the professional development room, which is there's a wall separating that from where the board meetings take place. So if you need to have an executive session or a professional development session, you can just walk from there right into that room and such right there. This is the kitchen area just off to it'd be the left of the PD room. If you're facing that, it'd be on your left, kitchen area. This, I believe, is, correct me if I'm wrong, Karen, whose office is this? This is, I believe this may be Heather's office, right? Yeah, Heather's office right there. This is Mrs. Cummings' office. How I know that, they put new light in right there, so that's Mrs. Cummings' offices. There's 4 or 5 offices there. I hate to say they're cookie cutter, but they're all basically the same size. Like I said, I'm not a photog, but I wanted you to get at least an idea of what we were looking at. I've really been impressed with how it's looked, and everyone that's came in the building has been very, very impressed with how it looks. It's hard to depict that in pictures. I don't care what you do. It's just hard to really show what it really looks like. And you guys are more than welcome anytime to come over and take a look at the new. We're kind of proud of it, aren't we, so far?
So, yeah, and I want to thank all of the folks at the board office and Mr. Smith. I am colorblind, so when they bring all of these paint choices and things and the floor and all of that, I'm like, it all looks good to me. But a lot of time and energy went into picking out the paint, picking out the trim, picking out the floor. So I'm very thankful for all you folks that have chipped in to figure that out. I do think it looks very good.
I got a question, I don't know if PTU or Mr. McCown, will all the offices be moved over there? And if they are, what are we going to do with the one that is the?
So I think eventually we're going to move everybody that's here in this building over there. I think there's adequate office space to do that. And I think once we do that, there are many folks that might potentially utilize that. I know that Dottie has literally got folks with an office in broom closets throughout the high school. We could utilize that. I know we also have a lot of stuff for the food bank that's currently in the maintenance building that's taking up space that we could potentially move that in there and utilize that. I think that maintenance storage is tight with all of the pallets of food. We can move that. But potentially folks that are kind of in a cramped little broom closet type office at the high school potentially could move into office space there.
Thank you.
And Brendan, just to put the size that you were asking about ample office space, we looked today, we were looking how many doors had to be sanded and painted. We came up with 22 doors to give you an idea how much room there is over in that area. So that gives you an idea, so.
Yeah, I've been in there, just didn't realize the size of it.
Yeah, so we're trying to utilize every bit of space we can, so.
If, again, if the other board members are okay with this, I'd like to ask either Ms. McCown, you, or one of our secretaries, somebody to get hold of the principals. And what I'd like to see happen is that we assign a wall to each school, and we can get, just like our girls' basketball team picture put up in there, the people we recognize. I'd love to see artwork from our art program. Our kids do those programs. I mean, you know, we put those in frames and just switch that around, just do a wall for each school.
Like
So
a wall
when
of
we walk
recognition.
in, people see that's what we're about as
Right.
our kids.
Yeah,
So
that's a great
if
idea.
you'll put that out there to the
Absolutely.
principals to,
Like a wall of recognition.
Like out there, they got,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, you know, all the things that happen in our school building. You know, there's kids that never get recognition, that it'd be a way to just put their stuff up.
Oh, yeah.
Any other comments are you done, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like I said
Any other-
earlier,
And
anytime.
we're
you-
glad our local people got a chance to work on it and make a little extra pay.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And like I said, anytime you want to stop over there during the week, there's somebody over there working, or if you want to check in with us, however, just go over there anytime. And usually there's someone there most times from 7:30 to 4 at least every day, or 3:30. So anytime you want to stop in, or that'd be fine. So be more than welcome, so, thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Smith. Okay, we have no delegations this evening, so we're down to the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 3rd, 2026 meeting?
so moved.
Any corrections, comments? Hear none, we have a motion to approve the minutes of the March 3rd, 2026 meeting. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, need a motion to approve, need a motion to approve vendor checks, less board member travel, which is $190,507.39. Mine says 507.
The total is 197,0539, and there's two items of board member travel. So with less that, the
Okay.
bottom number is 195,0739.
39, okay.
Not including board member travel.
Okay, so need a motion to approve the vendor checks, less board member travel, in the amount of $190,507.39. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any questions? Go ahead, Mr. McCown.
Okay, we have 4 runs of expenditures this evening for your consideration. The first on 3/5/2026, in the amount of $10,000, is our dental vision plan, and then the next on 3/6/2026 totals $51,516.54. This is primarily on the P card with food service related expenditures. The next on 3/9/2026 totaling $51,803.48. Noteworthy in this is software and utility bills. And then finally, the biggest run on 3/12/2026 totals $77,385.37. Noteworthy in this is we have some staff development in there. We have some contracted services in there. We have TransFinder, which is going to do a lot for us. It's a new piece of software that the transportation department's going to use. It will replace the droplet bus request form and provide some functionality there that the current droplet system doesn't have, plus also do some things for the bus garage that the current droplet stuff doesn't do. And those expenditures for that run total $77,385.34. Minus 2 board member travels, those come to $190,507.39.
Any questions about invoices as presented? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the total vendor checks less board member travel of $190,507.39. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, at this time, Mr. Moore, you'll need to recuse yourself.
Yep. I recuse myself, personal conflict.
Okay, need a motion to approve the payment of board member travel for Mr. Moore in the amount of $182.
So moved.
Anything, it's just board
Nope,
member travel.
Just board travel.
Any
reimbursements.
questions?
Why is there only two, or did we get the others the last time?
Everybody
we
else
did
did
the
theirs
others last
last
time.
time.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't remember. I
Yeah.
didn't excuse myself.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the payment of board member travel for Mr. Moore in the amount of $182. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries.
I recuse myself. Same reason.
Okay, need a motion to approve the payment of board member travel for Mr. Darren Sherlock in the amount of $16.
So moved.
Any questions? Hearing none, we'll have a motion to approve the payment of board member travel for Mr. Darren Sherlock for $16. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, and just for anybody that is out there that keeps the total vendor checks with both board members' travel was in the amount of $190,705.39 was the total amount. That's odd, Mark, that's exactly different.
I thought you transposed.
Yeah, well, and I can do that, but not tonight. Okay, need a motion to approve budget supplements in the amount of $12,300.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So two budget supplements. The first in the amount of $7,300 is a dental health grant for the Wellness Center. And then finally, Mr. Benson's class, as you recall, they won an award last year for their drunk driving ad with, what department of that is at the state? The Department of Transportation? The Beverage Control Bureau. So last year, I think they won third place. This year, they won first place.
Oh, good.
And there's supposed to be a big hubbub about it and a big cardboard check. So that will be coming back to the board for recognition as soon as we get that. But they didn't get their big cardboard check, but they got their real check in the amount of $5,000 of prize money. And that is the second supplement for your consideration tonight.
Any questions? Hearing none, we'll have a motion to approve the budget supplements amount of $12,300. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. That'd be a perfect thing to put up on our wall over in our new boardroom. Okay, need a motion to approve budget transfers amount of $24,988.62.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
We have four budget transfers. The first in the amount of $3,234 is Title I School Improvement for an interventionist. The next in the amount of $9,647.24. This is vocational for equipment purchase. Next in the amount of $2,107.38. Title I for supplies and parent involvement activities. And then finally, $10,000 transfer from general fund for legal services. These total $24,988.62.
Any questions from Mr. McCown? Or any questions on budget transfers? Here none, we'll have a motion to approve budget transfers in the amount of $24,988.62. All in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Down to need a motion to approve the annual financial audit report for fiscal year 2025.
So moved.
So the audit is done. Mrs. Cummings has prepared some documents for you. I think there is the big binder document that you all should have. And then there is a separate handout that I've given each of you. And I will turn that, with Mr. Metz's permission, over to Mrs. Cummings to share that information.
Well, we're pleased to report that the annual financial report is back. It's completed. It's required to be done by March 31st of the year following the year end. And the report that I prepared and presented back to you in October it remains unchanged. So the auditor did not have to make any adjustments to the numbers that I presented to you. So that's good, but what's even better is that within this audit, they also look at our federal programs and other projects to make sure that all the procedures and compliance regulations that are required of those projects are being followed. And pleased to report that we do not have any audit findings, and that's stated in the report on our financial statement in the back. So there's lots of kudos to go out to everybody for all the hard work that they did in making this come together, because it's definitely not just me. It takes everyone following all those little tiny rules and regulations that we have to abide by. But very pleased to be able to present to you an unmodified report to you once again this year.
So Karen, I will just quickly say that I know somebody at the Department of Education is watching this meeting because they've got the state divided up. So somebody down there is, and I think this is the 4th year in a row that we have had 0 findings anywhere. So I'm going to suggest that Uriah Cummings has an award for the county treasurer and accounts payable group, and for the, I don't know, the 0 findings club or whatever they could call that, but I would suggest that I nominate Karen Cummings and her crew for that award if Uriah Cummings would
Absolutely.
create it, because I think it's very deserving.
It definitely takes a lot of hard work, and everyone knows their jobs really well. Even all down to the school secretaries, which you'll see coming up on the next individual school audit report. So it's a lot of rules and regulations. Are we without blemish? Absolutely not. But for the most part of all the procedures that they follow, they find that we are hitting it nail on the head for the most part.
Any comments?
I think it's outstanding work.
It is. It's pretty.
Just proud that we've got who we got in those positions. You
Yeah.
hear what other schools, have, or probably they're having, or, it's very important.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
Well,
Thank you very much.
I know they were, the other day, I was at a school board's meeting, and for the executive committee, and they were wanting a couple of treasurers to come and present at the next one, and I told them that they need to get Karen down there to help. It was J.P. Mallory. And
No.
have they contacted you?
no.
No, okay. They might be scared of Karen because she's she has it right on. There is no doubt about that. Karen, please thank your people. Mr. McCown, if you'll please thank
Yes, yes, sir.
all the people, and including the school secretaries, but we'll get to that next.
Yeah.
Okay, any questions from Mrs. Cummins? Here none, we have a motion to
Yeah.
approve the, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, for the numbers, is our bottom line carryover is getting smaller, is that correct?
As of right now, no, that's not correct.
Okay, so, like with the current assets,
The growth of our bottom line is slowing, if that's what you're referring to.
the growth is slowing.
The
but
growth is
it's-
slowing, so that means we're about maximizing out our expenses. So pretty soon we're going to start going the other way if we don't do some of the items that are on our agenda tonight.
And when you say very soon, is that years?
No,
Okay.
Yes.
How soon is very soon before it crosses that line of decrease to actually negative?
well, you have to make some assumptions. If we do absolutely nothing tonight, it will be next year.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think when we get into our RIF and transfers, that'll become an applicable conversation. Any other questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve the annual, I need a motion to approve the annual financial audit report fiscal year 2025. I already have a motion. Okay. Need a motion to approve. Okay. We have a motion to approve the annual financial audit report for FY 2025. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, I need a motion to approve the individual schools' financial audit reports for the fiscal year 2025.
So move.
So I will kick that to Mrs. Cummings.
Okay, now the audit report for the schools is much smaller than ours. It's actually called agreed upon procedures, because what they actually do here is that they test certain processes like the receipt process. They test that bank reconciliations are performed timely, that deposits are in the bank when they're supposed to. There are very strict rules for schools that they have to follow. They're not allowed to have more than $500 cash on hand. Otherwise, they need to be running down to the bank to make the deposit. So there's very specific things that are checked for at the school level, as well as making sure that purchase orders are on before obligations are made, and that we don't have invoices coming in for which there was not approval obtained prior to that being made. Our school secretaries have done an outstanding job, along with our principals, our assistant principals, and our athletic directors, in making sure that people are well educated on all of those procedures. And it's really hard at the school level with the change in parents that are supporting our programs each year and the people that are volunteering. So they have to do lots of education each year on all of those people to make sure that everyone follows the processes correctly. And as you'll see here, they are, again, without blemish this year. So this is 2 years in a row now for the schools. So they have done another fine job.
I can tell you, as a former principal, that this is a big deal. I don't know, it was tough because we're talking about, not small amounts of money and lots of requisitions. And I know they only test, a sample, but still, it's just a huge job. With our secretaries taking 200 calls a day for buses and sick kids, and then they're doing this, and our principals doing everything they do, and they're still doing this, and they're doing it right, and all the different groups that they have to, it's just huge. And I just can't say enough how proud I am of them, and good job.
They've done great.
Yeah.
We've had, of course, at the primary center, quite a bit of turnover there in the
Right.
secretary position, and the board allowed us to get a mentor. Devana was our mentor for the primary center. She's done an amazing job working with the new secretary there, and it shows. She's not afraid to call and ask questions, and that authorization to allow us to do that helped.
Money well spent. Any questions, comments?
I do have one, just an educational thing. Is concession stands included in that?
Concession stands are included in this.
That would be hard to do. And I think donations, I know they are.
Yes, donations, any donations that come in that have a specific purpose, there's actually an account that's established within our records so that all expenditures can be accounted for
Is that
there.
paid directly by the secretaries, or how do they do that?
It's within our software accounting program that we have. Sideliners, their information is all at the high school level. And so this way, when people make donations, then they don't have to worry about it being tax deductible. Because any organization that's set up outside the school, if they don't have a 501c3, your donation to them is not tax deductible. And so that was the major carrot, for lack of a better word, for them to bring their books to the high school so that it's here, it's one place, it's looked at, and there's no question that those donations are tax deductible.
So if anybody has donated a lot of money, they can get whoever they applied to, they applied to.
If anyone has made a donation and they need a letter, they can contact the school secretary, and we can provide that letter to them.
We're taxing them. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the individual school financial audit reports for FY 2025. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, now we're down to something new. Need a motion, we're going to go ahead and make a motion and approve this, okay, since it's on our agenda, and I think then when people look, they know that we've done it. So I need a motion to approve the monthly financial report from Mrs. Cummins.
So moved.
Mrs. Cummins?
Okay. So this was at the request of Mr. Metz, and I think last month you had a sample that you could look at. I followed an example that was provided from the State Department of Education, and you'll see that I do have some writing in it in blue ink. We're still trying to get the program language to pull things correctly, but for the most part, this is a good report. And what it is, and I've asked that it be placed on here as an action item so that we can do this each month, if that be okay, Ms. Metz.
That's what we want.
So that way you see that you have your information and there's no question. If ever I'm not here, you make sure to continue to do this. So what we want on the very second page, it's a listing of all of your cash accounts that you have and the rate of return. So we have 3 accounts. 2 of those are held at West Banco. We have our general fund, and this information is all as of the end of February. At the end of February, we had $383,000 at West Banco, rate of return 1.16%. We also have that UMR dental fund, and it had a balance at the end of February around $5,200. Now, down with the investment account down in Charleston, our West Virginia money market pool, we have $5.1 million, and that's at a rate of return of 3.85%. So I try to keep as much down there as possible simply because of that rate of return. So in total, we have $5.5 million in cash. All right, go to page 3. You'll see the next page, it shows that this is actually a report provided by the West Virginia Department of Education. So they have this program out there that I only have access to it, but I've ran this, and this is their report here. This is all of the numbers that get reported to Charleston. I have to be down there and ready to go by the 8th of the month. So of this report, each month I keep sending it to them to let them know what the problems are. But at the very top of it, it actually shows by fund what we have. It shows the revenues at the top, and at the bottom by fund, it also shows the expenses. In total, it gives you month to date, so that's just what happened in the month of February. So in the month of February, your general current expense took in $800,000. It has year-to-date revenue column. It shows for your general current expense fund of $8.1 million. It has your beginning balance at 5.2, and then our budget total is 19.7, and then that shows that we still have about 6.3 million left to collect for the year. So it shows that we've collected right now about 68% of the budget. In the exact same month, 1 year ago, prior year, so as of February of 25, we had collected 8.9 million. This year, as of the end of February, we had only collected 8.1 million for a decrease of 830,000. And you'll see why here in a minute. So, but that's how this whole report is structured. So it goes through revenues, and then at the bottom, it leads you right through exactly the expenses. So I'll go through the general fund, and so you kind of get the idea how that one works. So on the general fund, we spent 1.1 million in the month of February. Our expenses year to date, all the way from July to February for this year, we'd spent 8 million. We have purchase orders and encumbrances sitting out there of 4.8 million. Total budget, again, the 19.7. So we have about 6.8 million yet to spend. So we've spent about 65% of the budget. 1 year ago, as of February, we had spent almost 8.4 million. Again, we had spent 8 million this year, 8.4 last year. So you can see it does the same thing for each of your funds that we have. Quick recap, general fund. That's where your property tax collections come in. That's where state aid comes in. State aid is about 70% of the money that comes in general fund. Your capital projects fund, that's money that we've got set aside for whenever we are going to fund either a new school building or a major capital project with school building authority. That's going to be your matching money. Special revenue, that's all those projects. Those federal projects and state projects that we have. And then the last fund that they're still accounting for is that federal stimulus. That's that ESSER money that came in. And it only shows activity in the prior year because it's gone. All right, next page. Any questions on that page? No? Good? Okay, we're on page 4 now. So page 4, it just simply shows your school activity fund, and it just shows a balance of $367,000. And what that is the cash balance at the schools at the end of June. And we really don't do anything with that. It was a new reporting requirement a couple years ago. We only do activity for them summarized at the end of the year for the financial statement purpose only. Page 5. This is actually a breakdown. So before it was showing you everything in total revenues, total expenses. Now you can come back here and you can break it down and actually see what in particular was going on. We commented that we had collected less in revenue. Well, always look for your negatives. If you come down under revenue from state sources, other state sources, you'll see in the far right column a negative 1.1 million. So what that tells you is that this year I've collected $1 million, but last year at the same point in time, it says I had 2.2 million. Well, what on earth happened between last year and this year that we've lost $1.1 million? Well, you'll see the answer when we come to the expenses here in just a minute. But for the most part, you should be able to quickly identify changes like that by looking at what happened from one year to the next. And when you start seeing those deviations, that's when you need to start asking the questions. And that's a big one right there. But I've got an answer for you. Now, you can also take a look, like under property taxes current year. Year to date, we've collected $2.2 million. Last year at this point in time, we had collected 2.1. So at this point in time, we're about $80,000 ahead of where we were a year ago. Budget-wise, we've collected about almost 65% of what we were projecting to collect in tax collections so far this year. So we're about on target to make our budget for there. Moving on to the next page. Now it starts through your expenditures, and it gives you great detail. So all of those expenditures that were summarized on the front page, it's now telling you more specifically what that breakdown is. And here you can see that it's broken down into salaries, professional salaries, service salaries, substitutes. And so this is what you want to look for. Over there in the column that's labeled remaining balance, if you start to see negative numbers there, you should raise your eyebrows and say, what are you doing? So as you'll see, I do have a negative. I have a negative on the 4th line down, and it's on service substitutes. Year-to-date expenditures, I have $63,538, but I only budgeted $62,000 for this year. So I'm in the hole right now, $1,138. So next board meeting, you're going to see me make a transfer to move some monies into that line item. Line item above it are the professional subs. Right now, year-to-date, we've spent $79,000 in professional subs. I've got a budget of around 192,000. So we got about 112,000 left to go there. Then down below there, you'll see where I've written in the descriptions. The state hasn't modified the descriptors of these new account codes that they've created for us to use. But we have a new code for professional subs and vacant positions. And what that is those vacancies that we have for which we don't have an actual body filling it. That's where we have to code those expenditures. Or people on unpaid medical leave. That's where we code these expenditures to. So you'll see this year, year to date, for professional subs, it's at almost 30,000. Whereas 1 year ago, we were at 87,000. We were able to actually fill some of those jobs. So that's a good sign. And the same holds true down under service. Service this year, we're at 11.5. We've had some people out on some medical leave. And then last year, we only had 1,600 in it. Now,
Ms. Cummings?
yes,
So on the very last column where it says changes from prior year,
yes,
so since these are expenditures, if there is if it's in parentheses, does that mean that we spended less
correct.
than we did? So
Prior
then that's more in the account.
That just simply shows you the difference from 1 year to the next.
So if it's a regular number without the parentheses, we've increased the expenditures.
Correct.
If it's a parentheses, we've decreased the expenditures.
Correct, from
Okay.
the prior year,
All right.
exactly. Now, keep going on down, and you'll see the answer to why we had a change in revenue of almost $1 million. Retirement. You see that line item under employee benefits. You see group insurance, Social Security, and then retirement. So retirement year-to-date expenditures were $317,000 this year as of the end of February. Last year, it was $1.5 million at this point in time for a change of almost $2 million. And that's how much the difference was in our revenue. And this is a timing difference. There is a schedule that comes out, and it's called for the unfunded retirement liability. And instead of sending that allocation of money to us, they actually move it directly over to the retirement board on our behalf. That schedule has not come out to us yet this year. Last year it had. So we went in and we recognized that revenue coming in and also the expense of it going over to pay our share of that unfunded liability to the retirement board. That's monies that's appropriated by the legislature for that purpose. But that schedule has yet to be released for this year, so that's why you see such a big change. But it will be coming, and you know it will, because as of right now, I've got a budget sitting out there of $1.7 million. So I'm still waiting for that to come. But that explains why we have that change in revenue and why we have this huge decrease in expenses here. It's because we haven't recognized that payment being made on our behalf by the state. Good?
Well, Karen, as more we use this, the better we'll get at it.
Absolutely. And you
being able
can,
to-
you can go down through there, it shows you everything, your utilities, purchase services, general supplies, the dues that we pay on behalf of the board, the transfers between the funds. So, and it does the same thing for each of the funds. So you have all of that detail at your fingertips. So we start out, we show you your cash balance, we show you things in total, and then you can take and look at it individually by what it actually is. Salaries, employee benefits, services. So that is where we are at the end of February.
Any questions? Karen, if board members look at it later, they can call you, right?
Absolutely. That's a lot of information. This report, I think, is 16 pages long. So it's a lot to look at and a lot to digest, especially since you're just now learning how to read it. But all in all, I mean, your general fund, we took in year-to-date revenues of 8.1 million, and so far this year, we've spent out 8. So we're running about even on what we have thus far.
Okay.
So I'll aim to get this on your second board meeting of the month.
Yeah, next month you can take a look at it compared, it'll start building a history for us.
Yes.
Yes. And I will say this, I always had to remind myself this as a superintendent, that we are not we get no extra points for having lots of money. Besides, we need to be healthy. Our thing is, money comes in, money goes out. Money comes in. I mean, we're not a business that's trying to show a profit. And that's what we have to remember sometimes. And you talk to people, well, you're not showing a profit. We're not meant to show a profit. We're meant to live within our budget. So keep that in mind. That makes sense, Aaron?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a motion to approve the monthly financial report as presented by Mrs. Cummins. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, we need a motion to approve the schedule of proposed levy rates.
That was in your packet for you to see, and Mrs. Cummings is on deck to answer any questions that you might have, but we do have those for your consideration tonight.
Anything you want to add, Karen?
The levy rates are unchanged. They are still the same. I did the calculation. We will not be rolling the levy rates back, excess levy rates back any. There was not enough growth. So the rates that we have currently are still the same. From last year to this year, we're expecting between the general levy and the excess levy together, approximately $48,917 increase in collections. Broken down, that's about $23,444 for the general fund and about $25,473 in excess levy. Excess levy, we get to keep 100% of that. And please remember that of the increase in the general current expense levy, that the state takes 85% of that. So we only get to keep about 15.
Questions on the proposed levy rates? Hearing none, we have motion to approve the schedule of proposed levy rates. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, need a motion to appoint Karen Cummins as treasurer for Wirt County Schools.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
So with all of that said, I think Karen has and it continues to do an outstanding job as our county treasurer, and it's my pleasure to bring her back to you for your consideration to appoint her again for another year. Happy to have her.
Questions? Hearing none, we have motion to appoint Karen Cummins as treasurer of Wirt County Schools. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Need a motion to authorize the treasurer to competitively seek bids for the annual financial audit by an independent accounting firm for a period of 3 years.
So moved.
You want to touch this one, Karen?
So the current contract that we had with our independent accounting firm that did our audit report here tonight, it ends at the end of this audit report that was just completed for fiscal '25. So I'm seeking that you allow me to go out and competitively bid for an independent audit firm again. If that not be your pleasure, the state tax department will come in and do the audit. We've had the state tax department before. All I will say is that we have found that an independent accounting firm is more efficient in that they do lots of prep work prior to coming into the field and working, and they generally are more cost efficient or effective as well. So generally their bids are cheaper than having the state tax department. So I would like to go back out and get the independent accounting firm back in here.
Questions from Mr. McCown or Mrs. Cummins on the audit?
I would just say we've been very satisfied with this group that's been doing it. They've been very efficient. Like she said, they request things ahead of time so that when they come on site, they're not here for 2 weeks. They're here, get the job done, and are out.
2 months sometimes. Yeah.
And Ms. Cummings, there's a cost either way, correct?
Yes, absolutely. The state tax department is not free. Generally, past historical practice has been that they are more expensive than the independent accounting firm. Independent accounting firm, they want to be in the field as little as possible, so they request lots of things ahead of time, whereas, the state tax department might be here for quite a while.
Karen, just my own curiosity, does the state ever bid on things, or just people that don't bid it out have to use the state?
Generally, the state tax department does lots of those counties that are having issues. They will actually be the ones going in and do that. Or if there is known areas of concern, they will do that as well. But we do have that option. If we would like for them to come in, we can have them come in as well here.
Do we know how much we've saved in the past from going with a private company versus with the state agency?
I have not checked on the latest rates. When we first did this, and oh golly, it's been several years now,
Yeah.
15 years ago maybe, when we first went out and actually did this, there was probably $3,000 to $4,000 difference between here and the state tax department then. I don't know what it would be right now.
But that's roughly what it was in the past?
Yeah.
3 to 4,000? Okay.
Probably 15 years ago. And
Yeah.
probably the money plus
Plus the
what
time.
well, and what happened, Ms. Sherlock, is that the state auditor would come in and he literally would set up camp in the board office. And our people would just, instead of asking for the stuff beforehand, so our people are getting it, and he'd be in and out. He'd be in your office. He'd be, and it was literally months. Okay, so it took so much of our people's time. It would come to the point that he was like another employee in the office. Okay, it was a positive move to go private. And the auditors change, and no disparity on the auditor, but it tends to be a better deal. So, any other questions? Can we have a motion to authorize the treasurer to competitively seek bids for the annual financial audit by independent accounting firm for a period of 3 years? All in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. And if memory serves me right, Karen, there's actually a committee that you put
Yes.
together, right?
Yes,
That
and-
when all the bids come in, there's a committee that gets together and looks at the bids and decides how they want to go.
That's correct.
And there's usually a board member sits on that.
I need one.
Only one, and usually I have done that in the past, but Darren, if you'd like to sit on that committee, you're welcome to.
I would.
Wait until this year. Sure, absolutely.
I've always done it in the past, but it's pretty neat. Yeah. Okay, if that's okay with everybody else, that Darren sits on that committee, the rest of the board members, we didn't take a motion or anything on that, but yeah. Okay, routine business, we're down to policies. Need a motion to approve the auxiliary coach policy.
So moved.
Okay, and there were some comments, and Mr. McCowan has some comments.
Yeah, they were in your packet, and all of them were basically on the same thing, and it might have been an oversight and a little snippet of language on my part. But basically, the comments all revolved around auxiliary coaches will only be approved for the specified period of time within the sports season, and all of the comments brought up the flex days that the different sports have throughout the calendar. So, and there's nothing to say that they can't be utilized in flex days, but my language might have been a bit arbitrary. So, per those comments and with the board's approval, I would like to add a few words here just to make it clear that they can utilize this person during flex days. So to amend the policy to say auxiliary coaches are to be utilized for a specific and finite period of time within the sports season and the allotted flex days that meets the need of described in the initial request. So it would be adding and the allotted flex days to that, so it's clear that this person could be utilized during those days. That was the gist of all three comments made.
Any questions from Mr. McKeown on that addition?
This auxiliary coach, they shouldn't be coaching, correct? And why
So they are not to do the duties of what the paid assistant coaches or head coaches should be doing.
But on flex days, though, they would be probably, I'm just kind of curious what they need them for.
Well, they're going to have to say what they need the coach for and how they would utilize those people on the flex days. I have no problem helping with the need that the different sports have, but they're going to have to, in their request, explain what they need these people for and what they're going to be doing, because I don't want it just to be, as I said the last time, like the Oprah Christmas episode where you get a coach, you get a coach, you get a coach. They're going to have to describe what these folks would be doing and why they need them.
Thank you.
Other comments, questions? Okay, if it's okay with the board, we're going to go ahead and vote on this policy with the recommended changes that Mr. McCowan has made without putting it back out for comment. That's our prerogative to do that. So, because really the comments answered the question, and yeah, there's nothing else. So. Okay, so with no other questions or comments, and we have a motion to approve the auxiliary coach policy as amended by Mr. McCowan. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it, motion carries. Okay, need a motion to approve the outside presenters policy, Wirt County File KA, and this is the revision of it. Do I have a motion? Mr. McCown.
So I know Mrs. Hickman was here and spoke about this policy and some maybe change needed to that or wanted with that. And the board asked to amend number 3 of that and for me to bring that back to the board for your consideration. So in your packet, you will see the provision 3 is there with the highlighted text reading, unless the presenting organization doesn't allow such recordings. And I said, in such case, the presenting organization would be required to schedule a presentation specifically for parents before the school's presentation would take place. And that's what you all asked me to amend, and that's what I've done and brought back to you for your consideration.
I think that's me. I think that's a good compromise.
That's what I took
Well, and
for the board to consider.
also ultimately, like Gail had said, she has the ultimate call to cipher through the curriculum and pick and choose what she wants. What she wants hit on and what she wants excluded from that, correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, I don't think the board requested it, maybe Dan did, but it really wasn't brought to a vote, whether we all agreed, even revised. That wasn't even brought to a vote. And my opinion on this is, wise men said years and years and years ago, 5,000 years ago, history merely repeats itself. We plowed this ground 27 years ago. And here we come right back to it, and I'll say what I said 27 years ago. It will all boil down to he said, she said, if it's not recorded. So I vehemently disagree with this policy. I disagree with it.
Well, Mark, to answer your first question, okay, our principal asked us to take a look at, and that's what we did. And then to do the change, that's what we're doing now. So it wasn't that I or anybody else. Right now, we're going to have a vote on the revision, okay? We last time voted, put it out for comments, on the revision. Now we're going to vote on the revision. If you don't want any revision, then that's your right to vote no. If you think it's time to revise it and the revisions are okay, now it's time to vote yes.
Mr. Metz,
Okay.
just one thing, I think maybe you misspoke. It was
Okay.
the other comment
Very-
that we put
very
out.
possible.
The other policy that we put out for comment, okay, with this, we haven't put anything out for comment. If the board so wants a revision, then we would put this
Okay,
out for comment.
this didn't go out for,
No, it was
Okay.
the auxiliary coach that just came off
okay,
comments.
so
We had
the
comments.
vote we're going to take now is to put it out there for comment.
Correct.
Thank you, Mr. McCown.
Yeah, just to clarify.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
had two
absolutely.
policies.
Okay, so this policy is about putting it out to the public for comment, okay?
And I've always felt strongly that your community sets the standards. I felt strong about that. And what we have is outside presenters. And about any time I've ever seen an outside presenter, they come in with standards that don't line up with ours. Whether it's a survey, I'm suspicious for a reason. And what you end up having without a big recording is he said, she said. Same thing we had, same conversation we had 27 years ago, if it's not recorded. And now the side presenter, don't come in here and call shots. You say, I don't want this recorded. We call the shots. They don't. That's my opinion.
They still got to make a presentation, don't they, to beforehand, what
That-
they're going to go over?
That's
If-
what this
Correct.
revision is.
If they're not going to videotape it,
Right,
yes.
But there's an option to videotape or not, then they give the presentation to who?
To parents, faculty who, it would have to be for parents and anybody that wanted to see it ahead of time.
Okay, so
Is what-
everybody,
what
the
the revision
community would
says.
have the opportunity to see what is going to be presented.
No, the community would have an opportunity to see what they said was going to present it. The problem is, do they present the same thing in the classroom as they do to the parents?
So
Which
the-
is why
the-
there's the suspicion, and which is why it was recorded previously, from my understanding.
So the issue with that, I would just say, if they don't do what they said they were going to do, we'll kick them out of here. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Okay, I think,
Once you get behind closed doors, with nothing being recorded, gloves are off. I mean, there's a concern that the kids won't feel free to open up and there's cameras rolling or anything. I don't think kids care about anything that's on the internet anymore, on their phones, they've been, and the gloves are, once the doors are closed and nothing's recorded, the gloves come on, you don't know what's going to come out of the mouth of the kids. You can have some very, very innocent kids in there, and some kids that are super street smart, and it will poison the minds of innocent kids in there, my opinion.
I would just like to say one other thing, and this is the board's policy. This isn't my policy. The board can vote on it how they want to. But I want to make clear to the parents out there that whether this policy gets changed or whether this policy doesn't get changed, okay, we're still going to mail information on this out to every single parent on what's
and
being.
you still have a right to.
And you still have a right to opt out and not have your child to participate in that. That is not going to change whether the board votes to make an amendment or not. The parent would always have that right. That's still in this policy.
Yeah, the vote tonight is not to approve a policy. The vote tonight
Is
is to
amend and
agree
put-
to put out the amended policy
Yes,
as
correct.
proposed to the public. That's the
Well-
vote for tonight.
And I also want to say too, that I have full faith, that in the event something that might fall in the gray area or completely wrong were to be brought up, in a situation where they were having a class or whatever, I feel, strongly, and this is coming from not only a board member, but a father that will eventually have his kids sit through the same class. I feel strongly that any of our teachers would step in and cease that immediately. That's my thought. And that's coming from the teachers that would be teaching that now. I personally feel like that would be abruptly stopped in the event that it would take place.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table to put out for 10-day comment outside percenters policy as revised. That's the motion we have on the table. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
I'm sorry, we got 2 nays?
Nay.
Okay. Got that, Sherry? Okay, the majority of board voted in the affirm, so the policy or the motion is carried. The outside percenters policy as revised will go out for a 10-day comment. Then we'll come back and that's when we'll have those conversations. Okay, we are down to personnel matters, resignations, leave of absence, suspensions. I'm going to make a motion to enter into executive session to discuss the ratification of suspension of Wirt County personnel. All in favor say aye. Aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it.